this is kind of my one question for you is, as we talk about expanding masculinity, I believe a lot of the problems that these men have today stems from the fact that there's no one telling them what to do. Now, I know we talk about how, hey, you should kind of detach yourselves from these shackles of masculinity from the past, which I agree with. I guess we're maybe me and you might disagree is you might say for boys, it is best for them to kind of develop into what they want to. And what I would say is, based off of these studies that I'm seeing, I think part of the problem is that I'm not sure human beings are capable of being given a blank canvas and painting whatever we want to paint. I think to a certain degree, and I think this is especially true for boys. I think boys need somebody to kind of give them options. Like, so maybe give them more options, but I think like there's a term that I'm forgetting right now, but it's like you freeze when you're given too many options, right? Like, you know, people don't know what to choose.
Paralysis, like
Yeah, I think a lot of boys are going through that now because the old framework is crumbling, and I think that's a good thing. But I don't think you can just say now go out and create whatever. I think there has to be a new framework.
my response to that would be yes, and it's yes, they need structure or need some guidance, but the reason why we're having certain males, men, boys growing into men struggling because it's that overlying masculinity saying like this is what is expected of you. And so with that always there, it creates this pressure. Talking about your experience in a way that you even just like focusing on bullying on girls, whether boys or girls. That's another form of the expectation of you're supposed to be this. And so what I see is that there are a lot of boys out here that aren't given enough space to just exist without without this overlying expectation of a boy does this, a boy doesn't cry, this, that, and the third. It's too much of that, and that creates again a boy box for them, and then that prohibits the growth that a human boy would have naturally. And so that is what's interfering in my process from my perspective, and it's disruptive to the natural growth that a human can have when she or they are learning how to do this and that. They're going to find their way, but through experience. But because they're constantly reminded that you're not good enough, or you're not being the boy, you're not athletic enough, you're not all this, you have all these emotions, you're too sensitive. That is disruptive, not the other way around.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess only time will tell whether you're right or I'm right. No, because like I said, I agree that the old framework is probably not useful for today's times. I just also think telling boys kind of, be and do what you will, I think they kind of looking around like, like, what did that mean?
So, but my thing is though, saying it in that way, do what you will. Say if we're gonna go with that, do what you will. Let's get boys to the point where say, okay, what is it that you want to do? Some are gonna say, I want to do this. I'm not sure. I might want to do this or do that, or I have no fucking clue. All right, cool. That's okay to be there. If we give them permission to be at each of those stages with different boys and give them permission to go try things, and say if we remove this factor of people judging them because, oh, you're 15, you're not playing sports, what's wrong with you? Oh, you're 21 now, you don't know what you want to do, what's wrong with you? There's all these expectations, and that comes with shame, judgment, and that is harmful to the human experience. And one of the biggest issues that I always talk about is because through their boyhood and childhood into their manhood, unlike a lot of women, and women struggle, some women with the struggles too, there was no adults helping them work through and express their emotions and learn how to self-soothe and navigate their emotions. they become adults who struggle and try to push down and avoid and get rid of these thoughts and feelings that are very natural to the human experience. And so, because we've been taught in some way to say, I shouldn't be feeling this, I shouldn't be thinking these thoughts, I should be here and there comes a lot of shame instead of learning how to actually deal with your emotions. And so that's where therapy comes in. Therapy can help you learn how to go to that emotional gym, as I like to say, because, I like in general, humans, but especially men, it's like going to the gym, doing upper body, but skipping leg day. Men skip emotional leg day. We don't go to the gym on the emotional gym. And that's why we struggle with it. My thing is sign up for that emotional gym membership, get in there, put in the work. And then when things are showing up, give yourself permission and just navigate it as best as you can as a human.